Thanksgiving, and I have a question. Is cornbread dressing your favorite? I'm telling you the truth. I can still remember how my mama's cornbread dressing tastes, and I loved it. So I'm going to show y'all how I make it, and I try to make it just like her. Nico said he really likes it too. Do you really like it? Yeah, he really likes that. Yes, he does. He's got the hiccups, bless his heart. First of all, you prepare 2 recipes of your favorite cornbread recipe. We like sweet cornbread. If you don't like sweet, don't add any sugar or anything. But I've actually baked it in this, especially during the holidays. I'm a big fan of don't use another pot if you don't need to. So I started it, but all you have to do to kind of crumble the cornbread up is just to very lightly run your spoon across it. And I have already made the broth. So what I used for the broth was 8 cups of chicken broth, 8 chicken thighs. Nico is almost ready to talk. Can you tell? Because he just loves to talk to us, just not in words yet, but we understand everything he says.
Okay, start over because I didn't even hear you. 8 cups of chicken broth?
8 cups of chicken broth, 8 chicken thighs, and then what else I put in, and some people don't like the dark part of the cornbread. We like it, and it gives it a little bit of texture. I don't use any kind of white bread in my cornbread dressing, just cornbread, so I think it adds a little bit to it. So I'm adding 2 boiled eggs that I've chopped. Now some people add beaten eggs. I just like it better if they're already boiled because I think you don't need the creaminess of a beaten egg after you add your broth. This is plenty. Okay. So I've added 2 chopped eggs, like I showed you. And I was going to also show you that this is the way I make my chicken broth. I put the 8 chicken thighs in there, bone in. Be sure whenever you're making chicken broth to add any kind of chicken that you want, but bone in. And dark meat's always better if you just are looking for flavor. Plus, we put a little bit of chicken in our dressing. I'll show you. But I put the celery stalks whole like this. Now, I've taken them out of the broth because I wanted to make sure not to get them in the whole ones in the dressing. And I put an onion just whole. And then I put my seasonings. I put thyme. If you like sage, you can put sage. We don't particularly like to use it. If you like poultry seasoning, you can make your own. You can look on the internet. And instead of buying a whole little container for one meal, it's really easy. But poultry season has marjoram and rosemary and black pepper. And so it will make you really be happy that you made it because you can make enough to last for the holidays and then you're done. And then I like to add chopped celery that's fresh. It hasn't been cooked because it adds just a little bit of depth to it and a little bit of crunch, which helps because it is very soft recipe. And then we add green onions. You know, I've told you before, Louisiana people love green onions. So I've chopped 3. I'm going to add most of them in. I'm going to save a few to garnish it. But I like to add them in too because there's something about cooked green onions that just tastes so good. So here you can see that a little bit of the chicken, I actually took the meat off of 2 of the chicken thighs. And we're just put as much broth as you want. We like ours kind of softer instead of crispy, but if you like it really crispy, you don't have to use as much broth. And if you don't like chicken, you can just take your chicken out before you start dipping into it here. But this is so easy. I think people are afraid kind of sometimes to make their own dressing, but it's really easy. And there's some steps that you can make it easier if you, like I said, and just make it all in one pot or pan. And then you just stir and stir and stir and make sure that you have enough broth. Oh my gosh, whenever you add the broth to this cornbread, you can smell how it's going to taste whenever you, with your finished product. And oh, it just didn't smell good, Charlotte.
Yeah, that broth smells amazing.
Oh my gosh, it does. And broth is really easy to make. Now, I might use all this broth. I'm not going to actually need all this broth for this pan.
But you can also just use store broth, right?
You can, but boy, you need to, cook your chicken in it, add some celery and onions, because store-bought broth is great, but anytime you're making a dish like this, I think you just need to add layers of flavor. So this is not quite there yet. I'm going to keep on showing you because I really want you to see and not be afraid of the broth, because now remember, you're going to put it in the oven at 350 and cook it about 30 minutes. And then you serve it with your gravy. What I was going to say is you can use the extra. I'm going to get some salt and pepper real quick. You can use the salt and pepper, but you can use the extra broth for your gravy. Yeah, you just make a little roux, add that broth, add whatever seasonings you want.
Nico's got the onion. Oops.
He's helping his dang cook. Are you helping your dang cook? I'm telling y'all what, he is growing up and he's so cute and fun. He talks to us, and well, not really talks, but we understand what he's saying. But it's just been, I'm telling you, such a blessing and so much fun, especially in these holidays, thinking about our Christmas tree is going to probably have a train underneath it this year and all kind of things for him. We already think that Santa Claus might be bringing him, we live in Nashville, a little horsey to ride, not a real one, but a little rocking horse. So we're excited about Santa Claus, thinking about that. Right, Nico?
Honey, don't touch the onion.
Yeah. Whoop. Okay. I'll grab the onion. So here we go. Here's your dressing. It is that simple. We made it in about 15 minutes, Charlene, right? And so now remember, I made the cornbread last night. I'm going to stick this in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. I've already done one. Actually, Charlene and her friends are having a Friendsgiving. So they are going to get this pot of dressing. Yeah. How does that look? And I did not make this one sweet because we weren't sure, if everybody likes sweet or not. But they can taste it for seasonings. And then you just sprinkle it with green onions. And then you have some good old Southern cornbread dressing. My mama's recipe. You can't beat it. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Bon appetit.